Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. And so today is we're gonna look into the third episode of must read books. So last in the last video I recommended 5 fictional books, and this time it's gonna be a mix, but still it's a lot of non-fictional books. At the same time, these books are how to say, these books are some life-changing books with some deep down messages, and these are the books which I really loved. So let's get to the books. So the first book we're going to talk about is Norwegian Wood by Murakami. And this book was not something I picked on my own, but I saw this book on few reels and people talking about it, and I felt like, okay, when a lot of people are talking about it, we gotta read it. So that's how I picked this book one. And yeah, I'm kind of I'm happy that I didn't miss it and I read it. So it was a really good recommendation. So how do I explain this book? So it's basically it's a book that when I read this book, it was like a memory that I never lived. Maybe yeah, it was like a memory that I never lived, and this book took me into a world which was beautiful and kind of heartbreaking. It was a story of love, loss, and a longing. So it's about following a character called Toru as he navigates young love, mental illness, and the weight of his past. And this novel, is raw and melancholy. I love books which have those raw emotions, which are pretty. It's not pretty sad books, but for the book to hit us deep, it always shouldn't be somewhat all happy, all colorful and stuff. It should be a mix of everything. So that's how it was. And it's not just about the romance, it's about growing up, about how some people stay with us forever and some do not. And but there's another type of people how where they stay with us even without being in our lives. So it's like the memories etched, like how we say how I said about can we be strangers again. So if you love books that make you feel like nostalgic about something that you can't, I don't know how to explain it, but it was a really good feel to read this book, and especially the way the author wrote the book. It was simple but yet deep in emotions, and it was too good. It's something for those who would like to start with books which have raw emotions. Maybe you can start with this. It's a really because once you set a benchmark for your book, which this book will do for you, you can quite be like you want to start reading again, and this is one such book. So the second book we're gonna go to is Ikigai. I think a lot of people would have read this book, and a lot of you guys would have read this. And it's basically a philosophical book by Hector and Francis. It's about it's a Japanese philosophy on how what to say, on how you live the life. So I recommended a book called Atomic Habits. It was all about how you redirect all your small to big habits in a way to live your life or to achieve something. But this book is full of on how we can lead life. So this book is on it's the advice, or it's a philosophy given by the people from Okinawa. So it's a town in Japan, and It's one of the longest living community or long standing community. So it's a very beautiful way on how to live life, and it made me question when I started reading it. Like it kind even I think you guys would have you guys would be questioned, and this question would be like, what brings me joy? What do I want to do with my life? And once you answer a few of these questions to yourself, maybe you will understand how you want to live. And this book is it's uh it's kind of like a handbook on how life can be better, and it really inspires you, really motivates you, and I was deeply influenced by this book. So yeah, it's a must read. There are few books which makes you emote. There are few books which makes you think. There are few books which want to change your life, which shows you a direction. This is such a book. I loved it. I hope a lot of people, even my friends, a lot of them have read Ikigai, and they've all told me. And actually, this book was recommended to me by a very good friend of mine. Uh, yeah, so I'm just returning the favor to everyone who needs to read. I mean, actually, to be honest, everyone needs to read it. So give it a try. So, the third book we're gonna look into is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. I don't know. I've not heard a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people say, and I don't think I've interacted with anyone who have read this book, but it's really worth reading. Especially if you're a book lover. So it's about how, imagine a bookshop, okay, and that just doesn't sell books, but it sells secrets, stories, and magic. This book, it's stepping into a dream, especially a book lover's dream, mystical, enchanting, and full of wonders. So, it follows three different characters whose life intertwines through this bookshop. So, and honestly, it reminded me why I started loving books in the first place, and that's what encouraged me to go and uh, read this book. So it's a book about second chances. It's about fate, and it's about the unbreakable bond between people and stories. We've read books which I've recommended books which are between which speaks about the bond between a person and nature, or a person and a person. But this is it talks about the bond between a person and the book, or the stories the book says. And if you love book, and this is one. I'm just looking for the right word to explain how this book feels, or how it made me feel. So yeah. So this book, I don't know if this is the right word, but I felt like a warm, tight hug. So this book is basically for the book lovers, about the book lovers. So it's one you gotta read if you wanna feel good about yourself for reading a lot of book. And it's heartwarming, it's mysterious, and it's full of emotions. Like, it's from beginning to the end. It's emotion, mystery, love. I mean, not that kind of love, but the kindness, caring, and stuff. And some books find you, at the right time. And this book, I did not find this book. This book found its way to me, and I'm glad that it did. And for those who are watching this video, this is the book's way of finding its way to you. And I don't recommend you missing the chance if you really are a book lover. So, the fourth book we're going to talk about is called Signs, The Secret Language of the Universe by Laura Lynn. So, have you have you ever seen, repeated numbers like 1111, or have you had a dream that it was too real to be a coincidence? This book explores the idea that the universe is always communicating with us, and we just have to learn how to listen. I, for one, was very skeptical because I am not a person who believes the universe paves the way, or I, for one, do not believe that the universe is communicating with us. But I know a lot of people would have hated me by now for saying that. But after reading this book, I started to have a little bit faith and a little bit belief that, see, I was a person who thought if you gotta do something, you gotta do it on your own. But I realized that there are factors that needs to align, the time, or how do I put this? Uh, like something should be leading the way. You can't just go do randomly stuff. Everything has to align perfectly. The time has to align, and I started realizing it after oh yeah, even while I was reading this book. The little signs I ignored, or gut feelings I dismissed about not to one thing and not to see. I take big risks, but I always think through the consequences and stuff. But sometimes you got to feel the gut and do it instead of uh, thinking of the practicality. That's basically the meaning of risk, isn't it? So if you're if you're a spiritual person or not, this is something which makes you start believing not in something else which is unseen, or not in the universe, at least in yourself. And this shows that you're not alone. If no one's there, the universe is there. That's how I connected to the book, and it made me question. Really, it was very heartwarming that I question sometimes, like, what if nothing is random, because everything has to happen for a reason. Everything I do it for a reason. Everything that happens to me got to have some reasons why it's happening, isn't it? So, what if the universe is always guiding us and we didn't know it and we ignored it? That's how this book is. And once after you read this book, you will never see coincidences in the same way. You'll start questioning, why does this happen? Was this planned and stuff? These are also true accounts of people experiencing all these over and over again, and it makes you feel like you're not alone, and that's kind of good. It gives you hope, it gives you light, it kind of makes you want to believe when you're at your lowest. So it's a really good book. I would recommend it. So we've come to the last book, and this is called The Art of Being Alone. It's by Renuka Gavrani. So this book is for introverts, and this book really was for me. So this book, a lot of people do not understand the difference between being alone and being lonely. I was lonely for longest part of my life, but not now. But now I'm alone. So see, I live here. I live in a very different country, far away from my home, friends and stuff. I do have friends here, but still. So being alone does not necessarily have to be being lonely. That's what I'm trying to say. And this book shows that. So, and it also shows how important respecting yourself, respecting your own solitude is. Because, some of the best things in my life, some of the, overthinking sometimes, or ideas, my greatest innovations, I have not invented anything much bigger, but the way I saw the world, the way I wanted things to be, the way I started a lot of stuff in my life, started from the thoughts when I was alone. So sometimes we gotta respect that. We got to, uh, the fear. I know there are a lot of things to be concerned about: the fear of silence, the discomfort of being alone with your own thoughts. Sometimes you get too deep into it, too drowned into it. But of course, this book showed me a new light in how important it was, how you have to deal with it, and if you ever struggle with feeling lonely or feeling alone, this book is going to show you an entirely beautiful way or way to see it, and it helps you heal. And I would say for any introvert, this book is really, really, really important. It was for me, and I always enjoyed my own company, but this book was like an appreciation to me, like for able to enjoy my own company. A lot of people do not enjoy their own companies. This book will teach you how to, and it's practical, it's reassuring, and what I said in the beginning, alone doesn't have to mean lonely. See, you can have a friend, you can have a book, you can have a hobby, but you can have something if you set your mind into it. I learned it too late in my life, but I hope you guys learn it at this point at least. And if you're lonely, there are some things which this book teaches you. So we've completed all the 5 books, and as I said in one books always find a way to come to us at the right time. I don't know, I feel it that way, because a lot of book I've read, a lot of all these books I've recommended in this particular video itself, those books found its way into my life when I needed them the most. And it was pretty reassuring. So the last book also, it came out in a time where I was pretty low, feeling lonely. That book was like giving me a reassurance, and yeah, this is where I am. So sometimes, I don't know, we can't say it's magic, but it's something beyond ourselves. I really love how books find its way to me. And if I was one of those person who has brought at least one book to you in your life through this video, I would have been the most happiest person. And one of these books might be exactly what you need right now. So just pick. Never ever see, if you want to read a book, I've learned one thing: if you want to read a book, don't think twice, good or bad. Just go with the flow, okay? Because who knows, you might love it and you might start reading it. The first time I picked a book, I didn't hope to be a book lover. I didn't hope to be a person who wanted to read, but now I read a lot. Nowadays it's been a bit less, but I love books. It feels like a safe place, who knows? So you have to try. And so yeah, thank you for watching this video, and this is Kiran. Oh my god. Okay, fine. Wait a second, guys. So in the last video I was talking about I was talking to you guys that there would be something like a surprise or as a reveal. So I have written a novel. It's a fiction, and the name of the book is Shadows of Solitude. It's available on Amazon. You can order it. I will drop in a video soon enough talking about my book, and I hope you guys wish me the best, and I hope you guys take that book also and give it a try. It's my first book. I might not have been a very good writer, but I loved it. And I would love to hear how you guys felt it, because your recommendation, your comments, your reviews would be really helpful for me to continue my journey as a writer. So that's it for today's video, guys. See you in the next video. Take a book, never hesitate to read. Just, yeah, read. That's all. So yeah, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do hit it now for a lot of videos, and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. See you guys. Bye bye.